Welcome back to the field of battle. So, if I got this right, Port Republic was the last fight for Jackson before he turned to go help out in the 7 days. And correct me if I'm wrong. And if my memory serves me correct, Jackson only lost one fight in the Valley in 1862. Was it first Kernstown? Okay, so anyhow, so with me playing as Jackson, he now lost two in the Shenandoah Valley. Boy, they would punish me for that. So, we played cross keys. And even though we didn't have to, we went after Fremont with the Confederates instead of sitting there waiting for him to come to us. And it was just a fairly crushing blow to the Union. So then we shifted over, crossed over the Shenandoah near Port Republic to go meet Tyler from Shields' division. 2 brigades on the battlefield. And we decided that we would do the same thing to Jackson with Tyler that Jackson did to Fremont. And we went after him. Well, it paid off because objective conditions. The star up here by the end of the road, major victory location for the Confederates. Lewiston Lane, victory condition. The Coaling, victory condition. Kind of those two are kind of together. All right, so initially we decided to push out with Tyler and try to decimate Jackson's forward regiments before Ewell got to the field with all his three brigades. And it has worked. Even though Carroll's brigade is BCE'd, or Tyler's brigade, I'm sorry. Carroll's brigade is not. All right? It has ended right there. No Confederate got into Lewiston Lane. No Confederate got to the Coaling. And no Confederate definitely got up here to that exit location, which would have caused all these Union units to be eliminated. So, and I mean, I got extremely aggressive at the end here once all the Ewell's stuff got up here. But just the dice rolls for fire. I mean, I don't know how many 2Ds I rolled with a strength of like 4, rolling a 9 plus 3 or whatever, an 8 plus 2 or an 8 plus 3, where I got 1Ds and 2Ds. And when you get a big D, everything in the stack, even if it's just musket fire, everything in the stack is disrupted, okay? Well, if a unit was already disrupted, guess what? He took a second disruption. So there were a lot of casualties. And I mean, you can just look over here, just in what's in the piles there. Doesn't look like much, but a lot of Confederate guns that I sacrificed early was a bad mistake. Now, here's what's cool, is the Union recaptured these guns right here because of bad fire from the Confederates and good fire from the Union. They moved back in there. There were 9 guns right there that would have been lost, but they captured them. Not that I think it would have mattered. Tolliver is trying to get him up here, but he's been out of command the whole battle. So trying to get him forward to help, and you had to wait till the 0900 turn, so you only get him for 2 turns. I couldn't get him out there. I didn't get him into march order. I would have had to move Jackson back down there to get him into command range. So yeah, this is a loss. Now let's talk about how big a loss it was. So the Union got, for maintaining the last entered on the Coaling and the Lewiston Road, he got 10 victory points, all right? It increased by 1 each turn that they were the last one there. So start with 1, then it went to 2, then it went to 3, then it went to 4. So he ended up with 10 victory points for that. Then he got 8 victory points for regiments that were not collapsed. All right, you got 2 points. So he has 4 regiments on the board that are not collapsed. So you get 2 points per. Then he got 5 points for a good brigade that's not combat ineffective, which would have been Carroll's. Okay. Then he got 5 points because a Confederate brigade was combat ineffective. All right. Then he got 13 points for those Confederate cannon that are captured or destroyed. And you got 1 point for a Confederate casualty on the cavalry right there that got that from their shock being disordered. All right. The Confederates got 5 for 1 brigade of Union being combat ineffective, and they got 8 for Union guns. They're floating around here somewhere. So the difference was exactly 19 points in favor of the U.S., and according to the victory conditions, which you're not going to be able to see because I can't get it down there. Let's turn the book sideways. According to the victory conditions, right there, strategic victory, 19 or more. So, in a sense, Tyler inflicted a devastating loss to Jackson and Ewell at the Battle of Port Republic. What a game. I probably could have played this faster, but I spread out because I'm playing with some Napoleonic stuff. This one's been good. This one's really, Cross Keys was good, although the Union never threatened in that game. And in here, this one had one more turn, I think. The Confederates needed one more turn, and they probably would have touched that hex. But I don't think there was any victory points for that. And I don't think the cavalry could take that hex up top, the exit hex. I think it had to be infantry or artillery in it, physically in the hex. So I don't know if they could have got there. But they might have been able to BCE this brigade here, which would have given them another 5 points and taken away 5 points. So that would have been a 10-point swing. That would have got it down to 9, which would have been a marginal victory. But you can see the Confederates are pretty decimated in here. All right. Artillery did serve its purpose. The Confederates had a lot of gun batteries in here, but could never really, because of the terrain being flat like that and not really much high ground, getting them into good use. When they did fire, sometimes it wasn't bad. That stack of Union guns that was sitting here, though, because I think you can fire up to 12 out of a hex, they were devastating. Of course, batteries can't fire together at small, or it's the small arms range of 3 or less, but not different batteries. But at 4 and better, they can if they're in the same hex. So yeah, good game. The Death Valley box, the battles for the Shenandoah. This was Port Republic in 1862. We have a Union strategic victory of 19 points, which is the highest one they can get. And we're going to wrap this one up. This was fun to play this game. Get ready for the next. I'm going to put another Civil War game out on this table. And this one's going to be kind of unique. I don't know how many of y'all will know about this, but it's a print and play game. And once I get it set up and film, I'll give you the details about it and where you can get a number of these games from a particular person that created them. All right, we'll talk to y'all soon.